Hi everyone, welcome to Trax Gaming, and in today's video we are going to see the setup of the remaining professions. So we are talking about tailoring, engineering, blacksmithing, and then also leatherworking. Now, these professions are all quite dissimilar. Easy to farm materials and all bound to a lot of cooldowns, crafting cooldowns. Now, this is my tailor. You see I have a bank tab full of cloth, and in my personal bank I have some remaining cloth as well as vendor items, stuff you need to craft. In the personal tab on the bottom, in the materials tab, I put in all of the different dyes to make the shirts, and then also a lot of thread, so I don't have to run to the vendor all of the time. This is cheap to buy, so you just buy them a full stack, drop them in the guild bank or personal bank, so you can use them without having them in your actual backpack. Now, let's see if I do a restock. I did it on sale rate 1, so I have tailoring. I'm not going to do BFA, that's Mrs. Task right now, so I'm going to restock, and you will see I got a lot of stuff there. So if I go to gathering and I just select my character, because all of our accounts are linked, but if you have multiple tailors you will see something quite similar. So this is everything I still need to make. I have made a lot of stuff. Now go to gathering and open the task list. If I look at my task list, I see a lot of dream cloth. That is from Cataclysm. I'm going to switch right here. So I got a few in my favorites. That's Hex Weave, Celestial Cloth, and then Imperial Silk. And if we scroll down, yeah, you also have like Imbued Silk Weave, but that's not bound to a cooldown. That's also a special one. But I have like almost 14,000 in the guild bank. If we go to Pandaria, that's where those two came from, Celestial Cloth and Imperial Silk. You get like one a day, and if you make Imperial Silk, you get a silkworm cocoon, and you can have a chance to get a silkworm pet as well. A little worm comes out. I think it's around 4,000 gold, so it's all nice to have. And the bolts of windwool cloth are not that high priced. If I go to region, 9 gold, I think windwool cloth itself is a lot cheaper than that. Let's see, windwool, 1 gold a piece, and then region also 91 silver, so 93 on my server right now. So Cataclysm, this is all the dream cloth, so they all require volatiles. So volatile earth is probably the most cheapest on many servers, so you just use that. Chaos orb as well, 10 gold right now on my server, 50 gold region. So we got all of the different volatiles right there, and then ember silk as well. So the bags always sell from different expansions. I did a video on frostweave bags. You can see it. It's up in the corner. Somewhere there, and I can't reach it. Just click it. We did a video on tide spray and deep sea satin. It will be there in the corner as well. I got a video for Shalderai silk. It will be there up in the corner as well. Sumptuous fur, I kind of revealed that a little bit in the enchanting video. I'm gonna show you on the map just a second. Okay, I was talking about cooldowns. You got like primal moon cloth. You have to go to a moonwell. There are several in Azeroth. If I go to Ashenvale, there should be one. I'm not sure. No. Is it Darkshore or Felwood? Right here in one of those villages there should be one. I think it's here. There are a few, you just look it up, Moonwell on, let's say, Wowhead, and you find one. Just fly over there. I don't craft those too often. I should do it. You got like Shadow Cloth, which you have to craft in the Altar of Shadows. That's somewhere in the middle of Shadow Moon Valley. It requires Primal Shadow and Primal Fire. Then you got Spellcloth as well. You got to go to Netherstorm and always check out the vendors in Netherstorm in Area 52. And the one in the big sphere that is north of Netherstorm. There are a few vendors there that have a chance on selling primal reagents like the Primal Mana, Primal Fire, Air, Life, all that kind of stuff. Then you got Bolt of Soul Cloth as well. So you got a lot of these special cloths. And they're all required to make that transmog gear. So you got Mooncloth here again. Then you got just the normal Runecloth, Mage Weave, Silk Cloth, Woolen, and Linen. Linen and Woolen, it's just really cheap. I don't think it's really necessary to go to a farming spot if you want to do that. Like Crimson Whelpling, I think I showed that in like my gathering video. I'm not sure. If you go to the Crimson Whelpling farm, look it up. There are tons of videos on Crimson Whelpling. You will get like tons of woolen and linen cloth. Under an hour, you can get your bank filled. That's why my bank is really full with this stuff. But even bags sell. Like Runecloth bag right now, 70 gold. Sale rate is like 10. So farm it up pretty fast. And then you just sell them for like 50 gold a piece, or just half price it, and you will get rid of it immediately. You can go all out and just wait a little bit longer, but it's all about the cooldowns. So the most known one is the one for Hexweave Cloth. I think I got some Gorgrunt right here. Yes, I have Gorgrunt. Yes, I know. Okay, so I'm gonna create it. That's just some of those daily things. And what you can see, because I got so much stuff in my task list, my game starts flashing. It's going crazy because of this list, this massive list. Right now it freezes up. So I tend to just close it and do the stuff I actually know that I need to do, so it doesn't pop up anymore. So I can make these as well, but I need some more windwool cloth. So I'm gonna close down that task list just a little bit. I'm just gonna hope that I will get a worm from this one right now. I have to close the guild bank, otherwise it's going to try and put it in there. No, just Imperial Silk. So I got, how many do I have right now? 19. So it's required for the little more expensive ones. Let's look one up, like this one. That's like 8,000 gold. It needs hunting spirits as well. This one, 3,000 gold. Belt of the Night Sky, 28,000, but it's 19 region. But look at the sale rate. It was like 0.01. So this is only when you want to expand. And I need my Bolt of Windwool, because I don't know if I will reach it just to make another one. Yeah, I can make it. So this... Oh, I come too short. Okay. I gotta do this afterwards. Let's see. Let's drop this in the bank. Let's go to Draenor. So right now I'm in my garrison. And it's all the same thing. Just get your resources. Let's see if you got a trading post. What it has for sale. And let's hope Sumptuous Fur is for 16 gold. Nope, everything is at 24. So it could be 32, 24, or 16. 16 order resources. But I have enough. I have plenty. So just do your work orders. Just some basic cooldowns. Other Hexweave Cloth. And then from time to time you make your Hexweave bag. Those are the most known things about using daily cooldowns. Now we also have like this thing right here. The exact name is the barn. You can lay traps, and I suggested, well, what I do is just go out to the ridge and then farm up frost wolves. But exactly, people were telling to go to Nagrand, and if you use your trap, you also have a chance to receive Savage Blood. But you also have, you gotta get it from the trading vendor that comes around in your garrison Great Hall from time to time, to have like the primal weaving. So you can use primal spirits and then sumptuous fur to make hex weaves from primal weaving. And you just, this is not a cooldown, you just constantly make those. Primal spirits are easy to gain, you can get them from almost anything. I think it's even up with the trader. I don't know where the one for Alliance is because I don't have an Alliance character. You can just buy it as well, Hexweave Claw, for 5 primal spirits, but that's mainly up to yourself. But you could get like primal spirits from almost anything in Draenor. You can get them from going into the mine, you can get them from the herb. What is it called? The herb garden. Mainly from almost everything. Killing raid bosses, I think that's possible even then. So yeah, you can get a lot of primal spirits, and primal spirits are also coming from the missions and from the shipyard as well. And you also can farm a lot of primal spirits from killing the elites here at the Iron Docks. There are a lot of them out there, and you can get a lot of primal spirits from there as well. So tailoring is really cooldown based. Use your daily cooldowns to make the difference. When it comes to BFA tailoring, everybody knows why we use tailoring in BFA. It's mainly just to farm explosive. A lot of the gear is just pretty cheap and doesn't sell well. The only thing that has like really a higher sale rate is like cloaks, because every class can use cloaks. That's kind of basically it. And then also the bags, like deep sea bags. At the moment it's not even profitable on my server, but embroidered deep sea bags, yeah, that's what you need to hunt. And hydro cores, you can get them from Mythic 0. A 10% chance on heroic, 100% chance on Mythic Plus. So yeah, just do Mythic Zeros, get hydro cores, and if you don't like it, get out. But do Mythic 0 with, make sure your item levels is up to par. It will be easy. We have one sellable mount. That's a flying carpet. Yeah, and that's basically it. And it's like pretty cheap if I just look it up. But it sells. It sells. So you got flying carpet. Right now, I think I sold my third one also for 900 gold. And then the frost flying carpet, see, that's picked up. So you have actually one that you can sell. Because this one is bind when pick up, and then you have the hex weave one, and that's also bind on pickup. So you have one mount, one simple mount for tailoring. So it's all really cooldown dependent, and you also, for the older ones, you have to make a lot of bolts. So watch out if you're buying. Sometimes you can get pretty cheap cloth, and the bolts are priced higher. So make sure you watch out on that if you buy materials and TSM tells you to go buy the bolts to do cheap crafting. Take a look at the cloth itself, because a lot of people just buy the cloth, make bolts, and then price them on the auction house. You can even make a profit out of that as well. And a good combo to use with tailoring is this one, because it's my enchanter. So you can do shuffles for any expansion. You can do them for vanilla. You can do them for the Burning Crusade. You can do it for Wrath of the Lich King. You could do it for Cataclysm, Mists of Pandaria, and you can use that to make the better bolts and the better bags. And they sell quite well. Ember Silk bags, Rune Cloth bags, Frost Weave bags, Silk Weave satchels. It's all easy to make, easy to farm, and it sells just really quick. You have the special bags, the Hijal bag, the otherworldly bag. You have like the mining bags, the jewel crafting bags, enchanting bags, herb bags, all that stuff from Cataclysm. They sell. You have one for leatherworking as well, has a few bags. So focus on bags. If you don't know what to do or what to expand in, focus on making bags. So what do we have now? Blacksmithing. It's another thing. You don't have like real cooldowns for blacksmithing, but it comes with a combination like with alchemy. So you have the arcanite bars and stuff. Now you haven't seen me open up any custom price so far. Not in tailoring, not in blacksmithing. Oh, I can make imperial plate bracers. Cool. I should make those. The Imperial set is like really nice because you have all of these Alliant people that buy them because they look like a Stormwind Guard. Yay! Even Horde can profit out of that. Let's see if I select my crafter and I open up the task list. You will see that for, okay, don't do inscription, but you have True Steel, Ignot, and Secrets of Draenor Blacksmithing. Those are the only two cooldowns. And if you manage to get all recipes from Draenor, you can just tab it away. And you only have to do your True Steel, Ignot cooldown, which is similar to the Hexweave one. For the rest, the pricing for all of the materials, if I go to bar, you have adamantite bar, arcanite bar, and then copper bar, and dark iron bars. Yes, I speak like a dwarf, a Scottish dwarf. But if you look at these prices, they will all be selected on DB Market, Crafting, Vendor Buy, and then Convert DB Market. So what is this exactly? DB Market is just 100% DB Market. So if, let's say, Thorium Bar, you can see it now, market value is 1 gold 64. It will charge 1 gold 64. Crafting, it will look at the ore price. Let's say the ore price is like 5 gold. We'll say, okay, I need 4 thorium ore to make a thorium bar, and it will be 20 gold. Something like that. You don't buy that from a vendor. And then convert from DB Market is then, let's say you need like a flux, and you buy the flux and you get the ore and you combine them together, and that price is what's going on the auction house. Let's reveal something. If you want to say, let's go here. I got this question this week. This is kind of important for people who buy stuff. So if we go to crafting, default craft value method is first DB minimum buyout and then DB market. If we go to default price configuration, you have DB market, crafting, vendor buy, convert. That's for the materials. So how can you tackle this? That is will show, okay, let's use DB market, the cheapest item on the auction house, DB min buyout. You drop it in here. Ta-da! But what if it's only one item? And let's say you buy that one item that's like 50 silver because somebody just want to get rid of it, and all of the rest is 5 gold on the auction house. You could throw in a safety net. Average DB min buyout, DB market. It's going to take the average of the cheapest item on the auction house and then DB market, which is 100%. Let's say you only want to buy stuff up till 70% because you're kind of cheap and you just stock up on a lot of items. You could go with like 70% DB market because you buy only up till 70% DB market. So that's how you can alter this to say, okay, I'm not gonna farm. I'm not gonna buy when it's too cheap. I just scan by using my restock, go to the auction house and get all these sellable items and just scan them on the auction house and buy the quantity you need. You could do this as well. Like TSM allows you to do a lot of different stuff. So it's just basically this. If you want to say, okay, right now, I want to buy only stuff that's up to 50% DB market. It will change that value of the items in your crafting profession. We'll say, let's say this is like 1 gold, and this is now 5 gold. So it's going to put in like 3 gold for the item you need, because it's the average. If you only go with 50% DB market and we just delete the highlighted DB minimum buyout, you will say, okay, if it's 10 gold for 100%, it will now be 5 gold. And the item that I was going to craft that was worth 100 gold, because it needed 10 of those items, is now 50 gold. And because I used 112 crafting, it will now be 56 gold that is going on the auction house instead of 112, because I buy everything cheap. So TSM allows you to do a lot of stuff, but it also allows you to do a lot of tweaking. So don't forget that it's something you have to experiment with, but if you do this right here on the default price configuration, it will do it for every item. So be careful, and sometimes it's just better to do it on a specific item. If you say, okay, sometimes I buy copper ore. Okay, then change it for copper ore. Change it for copper bars. Change it for mithril. Change it for fell slate, laystone, even for monolite. Go ahead. It's kind of a way to be competitive, because now TSM is like a global thing and everyone is using the same settings. So everyone who copied my profile from Discord, if you're new to this channel and it's first time you see this video, yes, you can have this profile if you jump on to Discord. You can have all of it. It's like 90% complete of everything you need to know and are able to craft within World of Warcraft if you have all of profession and then some looted stuff as well. So everyone has the same profile, and if everyone is on the same server, you are going to sell everything for the same price. This is basically it. You're gonna sell everything for the same price unless you have like ranks up and stuff like that. But if you tweak a little bit of the values, somebody asked me, how can you change the value of herbs for alchemy by farming them? If you go to my operation and you go to auctioning operation, you will see here I have materials, and that's on Matt's minimum. So if I go to that, well, not to bartender, overlapping icons, great. So if you go to the custom sources right now, Matt's minimum is 70% DB market. So if something is worth 10 gold, you will sell it for 7 gold. So what I actually do, this is something you can do for yourself. Like people who farm and sell raw materials, you can decide for yourself how cheap you want an item to be listed for. Like some people say, okay, I go down to 50 gold because I just want to get rid of it. I do raw gold farms and that's it. Or people say, okay, I just farm everything, and with everything I farmed, I'm gonna make everything that comes up in my list, and all of the other stuff I have left, I put on the auction house. Well, this is a trick, because people who gather want to get paid to gather, okay? It's a time investment. People who buy stuff on the auction house to craft it and then list it, they make a currency investment. It only requires them like half an hour a day to craft everything and put it on the auction house, except for Expulsum. Except for Expulsum, thank you, Blizzard. But those persons, they invest gold. So let's say they invest 10,000 gold and they got like 100,000 gold worth of items to put on the auction house. Now, somebody who gathers is going to value his items to how much gold you value your time. Like somebody who crafts stuff by buying, he wants to get a return. Like, I want to get 10 times the amount that I invested. If I can get like 10 times the amount for the stuff I buy to put in the auction house and then sell, I'm gonna make 100,000 gold out of 10,000 gold invested. Or maybe even cheaper. That's up to you. But if you like farm, how are you going to value your time? You're gonna say, okay, my farming time is 1,000 gold an hour, and I'm going for that Longboi, so I'm gonna farm like 50,000 hours this year. Yes, I'm gonna do that because I still have other expenses like WoW tokens. Otherwise, it will be only 5,000. 5,000 hours of farming for 1,000 gold. That's my Longboi. Let's be realistic. If you farm stuff and you say, okay, I go down to a price of 70% DB market, and I'm gonna use all those items to put it on the auction house. If you go to settings and, yeah, again, to the custom sources, like this is 70%. And then we go to the general, the crafting settings. If you say all of the materials I farm is like 70% DB market. If it's too cheap, or if the items on the auction house are too cheap for 70% DB market, like it's non-profitable, and you have those materials and you're probably going to put them on the auction house, this will be a way. Because right now you're going to get more from crafting it if you are able to profit from it than just putting it raw in the auction house. But if it's too cheap to actually make profit by doing the crafting restock, you're gonna sell those materials raw anyway. Let's say you farm monolite ore. Monolite ore is worth 10 gold and you go down to a price of 7 gold on the auction house. Why not value it 7 gold for your crafts? You get a return for your time investment. That's all I wanted to say about it, really. That's all I wanted to say. So this is default material cost method. But if you want it to be cheaper, you gotta put some work in. Like use that DB minimum buyout. Or yeah, farm it yourself. But for people who buy, use the average, because some items are very cheap because it's just one item of someone who doesn't has TSM. So I'm gonna switch over right now to the other professions. Like I said, is really similar. So this is one of my 3 engineers. I told you guys on stream, I'm a fan of engineering. You gotta have more than one engineer because you got gnomish engineering and goblin engineering. And one gives you the toys and the other one gives you all of the mounts. Now, if we're talking about mounts and you have all these really high requested Mist of Pandaria mounts, like the Sky Golem, the Kiparitium Rocket, and what else? World Destroyer and stuff like that. Let's go mount. How many mounts? So Sky Golem, Kiparitium Rocket, and then you have the flying machines from the Burning Crusade, and then you should have, where is, oh yeah, on my other character, the MK2, and then the World Spinner from Pandaria as well. What do we see when we look at these items? Living steel. If you can combine your engineer and another character or the same character with alchemy, you can get living steel. Now living steel is also something bound to a cooldown that you can do, but when you farm up the riddle of steel just by making stupid Pandaria potions, you will finally learn the riddle of steel, and with Spirits of Harmony, and I think it's Trillium, you can just go ahead and make more and more and more living steel without a cooldown. But the problem is, it's not for this one. Geosynchronous World Spinner. I had to take a look before I could pronounce it. But when we take a look at the Sky Golem, and that's why a lot of people have more than one engineer, is the Jard's Peculiar Energy Source, because it has a daily cooldown, and you need 30 to be able to make it. So having more than one engineer with a Sky Golem equipped, so let's say you have 2, you can make 2 every 2 weeks. But a lot of engineering stuff has required a lot of expensive materials. If you look like the Corium Power Core, market value is 4,000 gold. There are none on the auction right now. Corium is like very demanded. And if you go to the pre-made group finder and you look for a custom group and you go with Corium, sometimes people misspell it. There are no groups up right now, but like a Corium raid farm with 10 people and a grand just flying around and then signaling others like, hey, Corium has spawned. You could get like a lot of Corium. A lot of people are saying it. I saw Want to Buy Gold did it one time or multiple times on a stream. If I go out by myself, I can get like 10 Corium in an hour. It's the same like anchor wheat, so you mine fel iron and adamantite, and then over time a Corium will pop up in place of one of the other nodes. And anchor wheat is the same. You farm like riverbud and then suddenly, oh, anchor wheat, let's get anchor wheat. You're gonna do that in a raid and you just fly around circling and just make sure you're equally divided along the map so you don't fly together and don't farm the same node. Just spread out and then just go all clockwise or anti-clockwise, and then as soon as somebody sees a Corium, is gonna say in raid like, hey, got one here, come over to me, and then everybody farms it. And that's a very quick way to get a lot of Corium. It's like you can get like 10 if you're alone, and some servers, or if you are very lucky, not some servers because it's like time gated or farm gated, you could get more like around 30 Corium instead of 10, or even more, depending on how successful and how fast everyone is. But when it comes to BFA for engineering, except for the mount, where is it? Here, the Mecha Mogul. Farm a lot of motherload and make it. This one is buy on pickup. This one is sellable as well. I haven't seen it drop. This one combined with the monolite reinforced chassis from Blacksmithing. I did Operation Mechagon a few times. Haven't seen it drop before. Mecha Mogul, yeah, like 150,000 gold. But you got to do the motherload a lot. You can do that on Mythic 0. If you do it on like a Mythic key, you will get it from the chest. And it will guarantee you, give you like 1 to 3 of the Blast Fire, this one, the Crush Resistant, and the Azurite Forged. So engineering is very successful when it comes to the mounts. BFA was bad, just the regular stuff. It was bad so far. Legion, sad with Skull Blasters. Most people bought them just to simply obliterate them in Legion. There are a lot of cool things as well when it comes to engineering, like a few things that sometimes sell for quite some gold. Of course, the goggles, and then like the Goblin Rocket Helmet. That's kind of cool. Deep Dive, that one is then also, but it's cool, but it's like much cheaper. And then the Rocket Helm, it's much cooler because it's, yeah, a 16k region. average. Then you got like rocket boots and stuff like that. Construction helmet that's picked up. That's also kind of cool. The mining helmet as well. That comes close to the miner helmet of the deep that you can get from, I think it's Uldaman, which is worth like 500,000 gold. It's just very easy. You got all of this nice little perks and stuff. But I have right now, if you look at here, I am a goblin engineer, so I can make the mounts. Make sure you have these. And then gnomish engineering makes you do all of the toys and the little cheap tricks and stuff. You can make a lot of toys when you go up. See, the gnomish x-rays. But most of these are required for gnomish engineering. So you have to be a gnomish engineer just to be able to make them. And then you have to be an engineer in order to use them if you buy them. So goblin engineer is much better because you get like all of the mounts. And then what do we have here? It's the leatherworker. So for leatherworking, let's go do the same. Let's go stock. I didn't do it for engineering, but let's do leatherworking as well. Except for BFA, because Miss is doing that stuff. Gathering, select your crafter. It will be this one for leatherworking. And my task list is already open. Hey, what do you see? No cooldowns. Because it doesn't really learn a lot of stuff. I didn't learn anything. So what we got here? Comfortable riding barding. It's just mount equipment. Mount equipment sells really well in BFA for any of them. You have the Elderhorn riding harness, which is buying on pickup. So, but like leather love seat and toys like that, flaming hoop, leather pet bed. Hey, you have to make some. I have to learn it and then make it because there's not a lot on the auction house. And even Stonehide leather bardings. Yeah, those sell the toys a little bit lower. My sale rate is off, like really off. Maybe because I didn't learn it. But look at here. Those were the bags I was telling you about. Inscription bag, leather bag, and a mining bag. It comes from Draenor, so it's pretty cheap to make. So if I had cooldowns, Secrets of Draenor leatherworking and burnished leather. Those will be it. And then spiritual leathercraft. But you see here, you have to buy it from the one who comes in the Great Hall. And this comes from Frostwool. The same. You have to buy it. So for the rest, you don't have those cooldowns. You have all of these different kind of stuff. Like these hardened magnificent hide. I'm not even sure if this is like on a global cooldown. Because I haven't done any deep diving into leatherworking so far. Reinforcements is the same. These are for yourself. For the older ones, those are sellable, and people put them on their heirlooms. I can't go over the sale rates because this one hasn't learned all of that stuff. But there's a lot of leatherworking stuff, and it's kind of easy because leather is just simply easy to farm. If I go down, Icy Dragon Scale. Here you have to kill the worms. I think it's north of... Let's go. Let's do some north of the Borean Tundra here. There's some ice forms here, and then you can kill just the big worms. So there are not a lot of cooldowns. So again, the same for blacksmithing. Just simply the Draenor ones. So everything is really straightforward. I see I only have like Legion stuff. I was leveling up Cataclysm stuff. That's why I'm in front of the Firelands. So I just skin here, get all this stuff, and everything I just made to level I just sent to my disenchanter. Well, to my enchanter who is then disenchanting. Well, a lot of this stuff is just very cheap to make. Not gonna say if I'm gonna sell all this stuff at this rate, but let's say I sell the cheaper ones because I'm just waiting for 8.3 and that transmog selection, not collected yet. to pop up and see what that's gonna give. I'm so curious about that stuff. But for vanilla, if you go cured hide, these sell quite nice. Cured medium hide, I know the sale rate is like 0.07 and 5, but they sell quite nice because they are needed in some of the transmog items as well. There's not a lot to say about leatherworking in general, blacksmithing in general, and tailoring in general. Just look at what TSM has to offer you. Farm it, buy it, craft it when it's profitable, and put it on the auction house. Tailoring, focus on bags. A lot of that gold that people are earning is coming from bags. From every expansion, look into it. It's quite easy. Blacksmithing, you have all these bardings, but a lot of blacksmithing is just straightforward transmog stuff. It's not usable because tailoring, you can make bags. People use bags on all kind of characters. All of the old stuff from blacksmithing is transmog. If you go towards BFA, on the other hand, especially with 8.3 coming out, all of the uncanny stuff is going to be demanded. You're going to sell a lot of weapons and a lot of armor for blacksmithing. For when it comes to Legion, you have the harness. You can sell the mount. It is not bound like the one for leatherworking only for leatherworkers. It's not bound for tailoring only for tailors. You can sell it and anyone can use it. You don't have to be a blacksmith in order to use it. So it's selling quite well. I think Savvy sold 2 now in the last 2 weeks. It only requires you a little bit of Demon Steel and some Bloods of Sargeras. So watch the map for Legion, Broken Isle, and just see how many Bloods of Sargeras are up. So let this load a little bit. 1, 7, 10 right now already, and the Fellhide. So if you are a miner, get the Infernal Brimstone. If you are a herb, get the Fellworth, and if you are a skinner, get the Fellhide. It's just easy, and if you sell them, it's just basically an easy flip. The same for leatherworking. You see it here. Fine thread and some dyes are used as well. If you see you have to use them, pick them up, put them in the personal item bank, materials bank, and you're good to go. It's only like, what, 100 gold to get the materials bag, and everything that is into the materials bag you can use on remote. It's just basically on remote banking. You can use them out of the bank without even being connected to the bank. You don't have to be standing in front of it. You don't have to speak to the bank clerk. You just use it on remote. So that's kind of basically it. Tailoring has a lot of global cooldowns. Engineering, the most important one, is of course the Jard's peculiar energy source, and engineering goes well together with alchemy. Tailoring goes well together with enchanting. Of course, leatherworking is going together quite good with skinning, and if you are buying those materials, you can get like blacksmithing and leatherworking combined if you are someone who buys a lot of stuff. Or on the other hand, especially the old ones get overpriced sometimes very dramatically, unless you're probably on a high pop server. So I think that was it for the video. I can only say, because don't forget that I know it came up in one of the first videos, if you go into crafting, my sale rate right now is 0.01 because I have done everything that's on 10. So this was default that you actually had to go with. I think I uploaded a new version with included stuff, and I think I uploaded the one with 0.01. But if you want to get prioritized, you can even go for, if you have like all professions, you can start with 30 sale rate and make a big priority in things that sell fast. And if you are on point, you can drop it like to 20 and eventually to 10. And if you have done 10, you can say, okay, I'm going to craft everything up to 0.05. That leaves out the transmog stuff. And if you say, okay, I want to include the transmog stuff because I have done everything and I'm making a lot of gold. Okay, drop it down to 1. Just remember, all of these are using it. So if you are changing it for this one, you might as well change it for this one, and for that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, and all of them, because this here, 2000, I think that's potion. Oh no, that was to test a task list. 340 is potion of prolonged power. So change these values if you want to. Sale rate. The lower the sale rate, the more you're gonna have to craft, but these are slow items. So unless you are interested in crafting transmog stuff, don't do it. Yeah, and that's basically it for the video. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful. With this video, that means that we're done for the professions. That means right now we can go into gathering. We can focus more on our own gold making. I'm going to put Savvy to work and we're going to record videos about gathering. It was promised. We said we were going to do it. And now we actually have time. I'm finally through. Here and there is going to be a TSM profile tweak. That means sorry for people who came in to Discord, grabbed the profile and went out again. Changes to the profile will only be communicated on Discord. I can't put a video out and say, hey guys, I added these items to the group and I changed these values. So what will I now still do is make a list of all the variables and all of the different custom prices for materials that we have seen in the past 10 or 15 videos, and then put them all into one gigantic list and drop it on Discord as well. So if you're looking for something, you see it in just one list and you don't have to look back through the playlist to find that video and to find that price source, or look up every spreadsheet that I actually used. So changes will be communicated on Discord. We are still going to make a custom price source list. If you want to know, okay, how do you gather this? Come and ask me so we can prioritize everything when it comes to gathering. There are a lot of items to be gathered. We're going to start with WoW-BfA, obviously, because it's hot topic and trending and current expansion stuff. So we're going to focus on BFA materials first. We're going to make an entire list of everything that is there to be farmed or able to be farmed. And then we're going to start on that. And then we're going to go through requested items or stuff that sells quite cheap. And we're also going to do my challenge, that is a new character on new server. So tune in for those videos. Have fun making all that gold. I know it was a long episode, but here we go. And I see you in another episode. Bye-bye.